Welcome to Transforming the Toddler Years, a Core 4 parenting podcast for conscious, cycle-breaking parents ready to turn toddler tantrums into teachable moments. Hi, I'm Cara Tyrrell, a lifetime lover of littles, mom to 2 grown and flown girls, and an early childhood educator. Through the show, I teach you my collaborative parenting methodology for nurturing your little human's mind, body, and spirit. Because how you connect and collaborate in the first 5 years is how you raise happy, healthy kids who grow into the best version of themselves and find true success in school and life. Welcome back to the show. Today we're talking about your kids' activity level and their participation in those activities. And this is a really tricky topic. So I'm going to use an example from one of my clients' lives to kind of try to explain it in a way that feels relevant and grounded into your life. But first, let me just say that I am of the overcommitted kids are more anxious kids camp. And here's why. When we're on the move all the time, there's always somewhere to go. There's always someone to be. There's always somewhere to be. There's an expectation attached to that location. It's a very go, go, go mentality for you as an adult. And I say this all the time, right? You're in your head. So it's a mentality for you. For your children, it's a feeling, a go, go, go feeling. And so overcommitted kids, specifically toddlers who don't have a ton of bandwidth to begin with to navigate all those social settings and the new people that show up in those settings, the new adults who are giving them directions that they don't have real concrete relationships with yet, and the outcomes, right? Did they do a good job at this event or not? That's hard. You're in your head, they're in their bodies. So with that said, think about all the different opportunities that your toddlers and preschoolers are given now to be active in the world outside of home and outside of school. There's music classes, there's Kid Strong classes, there are ski lessons, there are oh my gosh, there's a million. But of course, my brain's not coming up with all of them right now, right? I took piano lessons when I was young. And then, of course, there's all the sports opportunities. You could sign your kid up for t-ball, for soccer, for rock climbing, for all the different extracurriculars. The fact that they're available is fantastic. It really, really is. But you need to make some choices about your kids' activity level based on who they are and what they are capable of at their current age and stage. And more importantly, why? Why do you want them to be in that space? Okay, so I have these amazing clients. Oh, this mom and dad, they're just so in it with their kids. They understand that this is the biggest, most important job they're ever going to do, raising other humans. And so they just want to do their best job at it. And they have a recently turned 3-year-old who is in all the activities. She goes to school a couple days a week. She goes to part-time preschool, is home with her parents the rest of the week, but every day seems to have another place to go. The Kid Strong class, the rock climbing class, the ski class, because on the weekends they go skiing. And so there's all these different extracurriculars that this little girl is signed up for. And one day I got a Voxer, because these clients and I communicate that way directly, saying, do you think this is too much for her? Because she doesn't want to participate. We got to ski class and she just didn't want to do it. refused to do it. And this is not the first time. So I sat in that space for a moment, really listened to them tell me about what they were observing in their little girl in that moment. Her level of overwhelm, perhaps, or just didn't want to do it that day. But that it was leading to meltdowns, and those meltdowns were leading to tantrums, and they couldn't get back in the car after the, quote, failed activity. And it was just so much for them and so much for her. So with that said, I want to ask you the deepest of questions. Why do you bring your kids to activities? Why? It's so deep because only you know the answer. And this is what I asked them. Why do you bring her to ski lessons? And they said, what? Because we want her to learn to ski. I said, well, I think there might be more to it than that. If you go back a few layers, why? Do you really want her there? Maybe that is it. Maybe it's that you want to raise a child who can ski, but is there more? And so they sat inside it, and this dad wrote back to me and said, I want to be able to share the time on the mountain with my kiddo. I am a skier. I love skiing. It's where I find my joy. I want her to find her joy there, and we can find our joy together. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. That's a little bit deeper, right? Another reason why you might want your kids to be in these extracurricular activities is for the social scene. Practicing what it's like to be in a small group setting with other kids who are getting directions from other adults. That might be your why. It might be that you have a carpool that goes there, and you're going to get an extra hour and a half of work time a week because you've signed your child up for this, and your neighbor's kids go too, and they are going to be able to enrich that moment for your kid while you are getting something else accomplished. What I really want you to think about here is that we want to pull back to the why we make choices for our kids before fast forwarding to and staying inside the what is going to get accomplished. Did they participate that day? Did they get on the podium? Right? Because I hear that Kid Strong has those little podiums where you stand up and you get in front of everybody and you say your mantras. I am strong. I am brave. Right? Did they refuse to get up there? Instead of getting stuck in the what happened, pull yourself back to why are we there in the first place? When my girls were little, and I love this story so much. In the moment, sure, it was a little frustrating, but you're going to see how it relates here. When my girls were little, we signed them up for swimming lessons with their cousins. They're all in a row, year by year by year. So when Caroline was 3, then they went 3, 4, 5, 6 in age as cousins all in a row. So we signed them all up for swim class. And they sat on the edge with all the other kids that were signed up for swim class. And they looked at the teacher and they listened like all the other kids. And then when it was time to get in the water, every single other kid did, but not mine. They sat on the edge and watched every single day for the first 2 weeks of this 3-week class. And they weren't long classes. They were like 20 minutes, right? We're talking about small humans here. They have little attention spans. And so that's why I picked the one that went longer with the shorter lessons. And I sat and I watched my kids sit. And I kept asking myself, why are we here? because all the other moms around me, oh, just go put them in. Just go tell them they have to. Just go tell the teacher that it's okay to just grab them and like get them in the water just to get them going. And I sat inside my why. No, that's not why I'm here. And I sat inside my belief system. My kids will swim someday. I know they will. My kids will swim someday. And they do. They're great swimmers. Well, I don't know about great, right? But they can stay alive in the water. That was why we were there. I wanted to raise kids who could be safe in the water on their own terms. And if I forced them or permitted another human being to force them to get in the water, they were going to build a negative water relationship when I wanted them to build a positive water relationship. So I've had my own experience at this too. And I know it's hard. You have to be patient. You have to observe your kids for who they are. I had a couple of kids who were wait and seers. I was one of those when I was a kid. Let me watch you. Let me watch you again. Let me watch him do it. Well, I'm going to watch her do it. Okay, now I believe it. Now I believe that it's okay to go do this thing, to hop in the water, to get on the skis, to stand on the podium, whatever it is. If you have a wait and see, wait and watch kid who's kind of cautious, if you have a kid who hasn't had a ton of experience with these social settings and knowing how to navigate them, and maybe someone who's not particularly, like you chose the activity, they didn't, then this is where it's your work. Why are we here? What is my long-term goal? And can I sit inside this period of it not going the way I expected it to get there someday? I told you this was kind of deep, a really big one, but I'm here with you. And this is what I do for my clients. This couple took my Transforming the Toddler Years course and they graduated, and then they knew they just really wanted some more support to navigate all the things that came after as their kiddo kept getting older. So they joined the graduate program with direct access to me. And that's how we continue to work together to navigate kind of speed bumps, road bumps they come up against. And I would love to be that person for you too. So I am thrilled to say that the next course, the next cohort of mamas and daddies and caregivers and all the beautiful humans who are raising the next generation will be starting on May 14th. And if this is your season, go check it out. The link is right in the show notes, caratyrrell.com/transform. I cap every group at 5 families because I want you to get the most individualized attention and the largest transformation that you can in our 6 weeks together. To all of you out there doing the big work, stay mindful and proactive until our next episode as we transform the toddler years.